can start. Okay, good afternoon, evening for some people, good afternoon for others. So yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. It's a pleasure. I mean, thanks again, New York Textile Month, for the opportunity to open up a space for us to share and have a conversation about these practices, and specifically also like our practice, and that we have been immersed as a collective, but also to highlight all of the practices and that intersect with the pursuit of understanding different notions of non-lettered knowledge on today's global agenda. I'm going to share my screen just for to open up the conversation and some of the presentations. Second. Yes. So sorry. So yeah. Thanks to our panelists as well. Thanks to Juan Pablo. Thanks to Piedad. Thanks to the master craftsman Arcenio, and thanks to Gloria, and thanks to the people that will make some questions, will ask some questions to to start this beautiful conversation in this that we call Palabreo, which is basically like an exchange of knowledge between all of us and between these very inspiring and incredible practices addressing and responding to the non-letter war, and how we can, from this perspective, how we can situating ourselves in this in the near future. So on this occasion, we present to you Interwoven Narratives, a Palabreo event that that is taking place in 2 sessions today. We had already one in the morning with the participation of 3 speakers coming from Colombia, from Argentina, and from South Africa. And also for this session, we have panelists from Chile and Colombia as well. So and some invited moderators for the Palabreo session that, as I said before, will ask some questions to our incredible panelists. So Interwoven Narratives shares the boundaries. Share the boundaries of a traditional conference setup and the formality of screens by establishing a transnational connection through a non-structured process called Palabreo, delving into ancestral practices, unconventional practices, and innovative ways of understanding that everything is connected by what we do and believe. Finally, okay, so just a small introduction about us. We are Colectivo de Palabreo. We are a transdisciplinary collective of applied research founded 1 year ago by Lena Celis, Elisa Luteral, myself, Ruben, and Leon Duval. We work with the traces, renderings, representations, and relationships that comes from Latinx culture in different global contexts, aiming to comprehend, expose, and communicate their impacts and extents through engagement, actions among individuals, collectives, humans, more than humans, and communities. And all of these, we believe strongly that that we need to exchange this knowledge by the act of Palabreo, which is an oral communication practice coming from some indigenous communities in Colombia. In this regard, we understand Palabreo not in its pejorative connotation stemming from the Western and colonizing world of the Americas, but rather from its American and pre-Hispanic significance as an oral and performative means of transmitting knowledge and worldview. Our journey starts with Maiz, a first activity, basically where we ask the question, how can the core tell a story, right? So in this activity, in this participatory workshop during the last version of the New York Textile Month in New York, we basically set up a table where, you know, like by having people from different parts of the world, from different regions and different latitudes, we create this table, this conversation, throughout a crochet workshop in order to understand and exchange ideas to exchange, narratives regarding our existence, our practice, and how we face the world. After that, later on, in different regions, in different countries, such as Chile, and also Jerusalem and some other countries, we start to host these kind of workshops where basically by understanding our history, our personal stories, and food as well, we start to create and to wonder and to explore different notions of existence as a way as a counter-proposal for the academic and Western world. So in this way, basically, sorry, in this way, basically, we start to want to make different questions, and one of them was like, however, everyday practices that come for notions of land, belonging, and domesticity. So in that realm, that's why we are today here exploring and basically asking like practices from the South, and institutions from the South, such as FACREA, which is the Faculty of Creation from the Universidad del Rosario, and we have the pleasure to have Juan Pablo today here to talk about this notion that I think they have done like an incredible work about it. Also, Piedad, who is basically conforming and producing a specific event, which is the Biennale of Textile in Chile. But yeah, okay. So this is like a small introduction. This is a small intro for our panelists, and so let's begin. Let's begin. So for the people who, depending on the language you feel more comfortable, we have we basically have an interpretation module here. So basically, like in the below bar, like in the bar below, sorry, next to the right hand, you have the symbol of a glove. So in that section, you can basically select the language that you prefer to listen this conversation. En español. But en la barra de abajo, al lado de levantar la mano, tenemos el icono para seleccionar el lenguaje que ustedes prefieran y que se sientan más cómodos para entender a cada uno de nuestros panelistas. Ok, perfect. Okay, so in order to start, I would like to introduce Juan Pablo Aschner. So Juan Pablo Aschner is the dean of the, as I said before, is the dean of the Faculty of Creation from Universidad del Rosario in Bogota, Colombia. He's an architect, an academic with a master's degree in architecture, and a doctorate in art and architecture. In 2020, he founded and joined it as a dean and full-time professor at the Faculty of Creation at the University of Rosario. Prior to this, Juan Pablo served as a director of the Arc magazine, an architectural magazine in Colombia from 2013 to 2019, and was an associate professor at the Universidad Nacional de Colombia and Universidad de los Andes in Colombia as well. He's also the co-director and co-author of the award-winning film Eurythmia, author and co-author of 10 books and numerous published articles and book chapters. Juan Pablo integrates transmedia design as well as the incorporation of methodological and thematic resources using social sciences and humanities. Also, in this opportunity, Gloria Cernat is going to join us as well. She's the director of Fábrica Creativa at the Faculty of Creation as well. She's the founder as well of La Caja Arquitectos and architectural offices. And also, she's an inspiring human being that we met some years ago as well. So Juan Pablo, it's yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ruben, and hello to everybody joining us today. Fascinated by what you've been doing in Colectivo de Palabreo. It's great to see what you're up to, and very honored to share this space with such great guests as you have organized today. So I'm going to share with you what our experiences are at the Faculty of Creative Studies. I'm going to begin by sharing my screen and sharing sound as well. Okay. So I guess you see now what I have in front of you. So I'm going to talk, and before that, Rubén, ¿cuánto tiempo tengo?
Ok, tienes 10 a 20 minutos, lo mejor, como te sientas más cómodo. Estamos bien de tiempo.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to take 20 minutes at most. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it is to have this project of education for creativity in the Global South through a contemporary case in Colombia, which is the Faculty of Creative Studies. Creativity is valued for its ability to enrich society and promote reflection. It's a trainable and moldable skill. Despite its recognition, certain educational systems neglect the development of competencies to materialize creative ideas. In response to the need for creative and sustainable education, here are some pedagogical strategies based on experiences from our Faculty of Creative Studies aimed at fostering creativity in higher education in Latin America. So what is the Faculty of Creative Studies? But before I begin to tell you a little bit about it, I'm going to tell you about where it is located. It is within a university which is called Universidad del Rosario. And this is a university that was founded 370 years old, has 10 faculties and schools, but didn't have until very recently an approach to arts or to architecture or to design. So we founded this faculty in 2020, and it's a relatively new faculty within a very old institution. And it's kind of been successful till now. We've been privileged with a great amount of students and faculty, and we are growing very, very fast. And so this is what we're going to share with you today, what it became of and what we wanted to implement through this pedagogical model. So the Faculty of Creative Studies, FACREO, provides interdisciplinary and comprehensive training aimed at forming professionals with creative and innovative perspectives. We are a talented and passionate community that integrates architecture, arts, design, musical theater, creative and cultural industries, crafts, artisanal knowledge in a unique educational experience. The faculty has 5 undergraduate programs, which are arts with minors in visual arts, digital arts, performance arts. We also have architecture with minors in sustainable architecture, ephemeral architecture, art take on urban and regional design. We have a program in design with minors in industrial design, visual communication, fashion and textile design, experience and service design, and video game design and animation. We have a program in musical theater with immersive studies in performance, pedagogy, and production. We have also a program in creative studies with a minor degree in creative industries and all the aforementioned minors. And we also have a successful musical theater production company called MISI Production, a school for kids and teens called MISI Musical Theater School, a creative school for all ages called Musical Theater School MISI, and a creative factory which Gloria leads, which is called Fábrica Creativa. In addition, we have processes that position it at the forefront today of academic training, making it a notable institution in the region. And I'm going to share you why we can say this. So first of all, what we try to address in the faculty is this culture of local appropriation, of how we can bring together the global and the local, which promotes cultural and social development through local creative skills in dialogue with global diversity. This local culture integrates global technologies into local creative practices with government support. And so in response to this local culture, what we do at FACREA is that we integrate creative disciplines. We preserve local practices and address educational trends in global technologies and technological advancements. We combine research and creation to promote and preserve our knowledge and strengthen local skills. And what are the concrete examples of what we do and how do we do it? First of all, we bring together, we interweave, and that is something very beautiful of this event that we have today, this concept of interwoven. We interweave arts, artisanal knowledges, and crafts. Creative education today requires learning by doing and bridging the gap between arts, design, and crafts in higher education. Divisions and disciplinary hierarchies persist in academia. However, examples like the Bauhaus, the Rutemas, technological disobedience in Cuba, radical pedagogies in places like Chile or Mexico, and the do-it-yourself movement, which is all around the world, have demonstrated successful integration in the past and in the present. So in response to that, at FACREA, we value craftsmanship skills and integrate them into higher education. We combine practical skills, arts, artisanal knowledges, and crafts to enrich creative education. And to further concrete these with examples, we focus here on the heritage, crafts, and artisanal knowledges of Colombia, the region, and the Global South, and we prioritize social, environmental sustainability, and creative models. We have established a unique agreement with Artesanías de Colombia, which is a public-private entity, to collaborate on researching and training Colombia's artisanal knowledge. We have great master artisans from all around Colombia teaching in our faculty, directly teaching. We do not subtract knowledge and teach it ourselves, but we have artisans teaching directly in the faculty, as other professors would eventually do. We have this line on education, and we build documentaries on all the different knowledges of Colombia. We are actually researching these knowledges to bring about an encyclopedia. And that is something very concrete that we do. And we have a series of short and long documentaries helping other people freely access this knowledge. To give you a sort of an example of what we do, I'm going to share you a small trailer. It's in Spanish, but I'm going to sub as it goes on. So what it says is that the pasto lacquer in the year 2020, pasto lacquer was declared as human immaterial heritage in Colombia by the UNESCO. And master keepers and artisans like Oscar Granja and the artisan community of Pasto preserve this craft, this artisanal knowledge. And this is one of the series of documentaries that we have on Colombian artisanal knowledge. Another of our distinctive features is that we have in our faculty a formation line, which is called Histories of Culture and Creativity, which focuses on the study of histories and theories of the Global South. And this is something that we did very deliberately, because we've noticed that many of the formations in Colombia and in Latin America usually address history from an Occidental and a Global North approach and perspective. In order to change this, we've changed our curricula, and at least all of our courses in histories and cultural creativity address first what is going on in the Global South. To give you a concrete example, at least 50% of the references that we have in our classes, at least 50%, minimum 50% of the bibliography that we use in our classes of history and theory are either built, developed, or written in the Global South. So that is our taken approach on how do we address history and culture of creativity in a blended all together focus. Here is a list, for example, of the MOOC, massive online courses that we have going. Courses on, for example, as you can see here, Global History of Islamic Architecture, Latin American History through Art, Design, and Craft Objects, Contemporary Indigenous Art, creative and cultural industries in Latin America, indigenous and Afro-descendant architecture in Latin America and the Caribbean, or decolonial artifacts and innovation for the other shore. So these are courses that we actually have online. They are free. 14,000 people have taken these courses. And together with this approach to history and to theory in the creative industries, we also go around the country with our production company, with MISI Production Company, showing all around the rich cultural diversity of Colombia. So we have musical theater, dances around, for example, orchids in Colombia, to give you just one example. Another distinctive feature is what we began doing in 2020 with something we call the South-South Creative Dialogues. We've noticed that many Latin American universities and Colombian universities invest their very limited budget in bringing people from the global north to their universities. And that's not bad, of course. We need to study global north. It's important to study global north. But what happens with our colleagues in Latin American countries, with other countries in Africa and in Southeast Asia, for example? Are they not able to access these academic spaces because they are somewhere else, or do they have to fund their own budget to come to us because we want to focus our budgets in the global north? What we've done is in these last years we've invited people deliberately from the global south. Here you have a list of people coming from theater, dance, architecture from Peru, Argentina, Bolivia, Ecuador, and these are the people that we invite every 2 weeks to our faculty to share their experiences with our community. We at FACREA learn by doing. Contemporary creative higher education has focused more on theory, conceptualization, and visual production, at least in Colombia. And well, of course, that expands to Latin America, neglecting practical skills and creative crafts that are able to bring these ideas, these great ideas to life, to be in a practical manner, right? So consequently, learning by doing has declined in creative training. In response to this at FACREA, we emphasize learning by doing to enhance students' understanding and connection to creativity. It allows us a learning through experimentation and error, promoting a reflective and applied approach in the process. We also address resourceful creativity. Resourceful creativity is a key process in creative education. We are very concerned with, for example, architectural approaches in Latin America that allow students to develop, for example, designs for, I don't know, the airport in the moon, or the new gigantic cosmopolis in the form of an oval. So we believe that small ideas and constant iteration are essential for learning how to learn, So at FACREA, we guide students through non-linear iterations, encouraging decision-making in ambiguity, in limitations, and in contingencies. This approach promotes adaptability and creativity in specific contexts, nurturing ingenuity in situations of need and urgency. And we really are in a situation of need and urgency. Here we learn by doing, immersed in maker and craft cultures, and we train in technologies that simulate resourcefulness and creativity. So for example, in collaboration with the Santo Domingo School of Arts and Crafts, we have developed a practical training model in the Common Foundation year, in which all of our students from design, architecture, the arts, and creative industries, they all have to work on trades and experiment and provide applied knowledge in techniques and materials such as wood, fibers, fabrics, metals, and ceramics. In the core of every professional formation we have, there is craft. There is the action, the concrete action of doing. Other thing that we work on is creative networking and management. Creative education goes beyond inspiration and requires robust and collective methods. Promoting a sense of collective responsibility in creativity is fundamental for success in a sustainable relationship with society. We don't believe that the future is that of individuals, inspired individuals. We believe rather in FACREA that on team working, on management and entrepreneurship in creative and cultural industries. And we believe that they are part of creative education. And so through that, we address social needs, economic, legal, regulatory, and networking aspects. In our research and creation group, which is called the Group of Creative Studies at the Universidad del Rosario, we investigate Colombia's artisanal knowledge, the future of creative and cultural industries, and we explore the maker and craft movements in Colombia, which are pretty unique. We use an experiential learning model in the classrooms, applying the principles of these movements. We emphasize as well management and entrepreneurship in creative and cultural industries. The faculty collaborates with strategic partners to showcase the students' work. We have this institution with Gloria leads, which is La Fábrica Creativa. And this is an institution formed by professors and students of the faculty that provide services in architectural, graphic, editorial, product design, and creative and cultural industries. So we do consultancy. And students and faculty, they work in consultancy in the curricula. They do not wait to graduate to do that. They do it within the curricula. This is a great example, for example, of Gloria's work. This is something that she did in Paipa, together with her team, to develop the infrastructure, the general urban planning of a project in a place called Paipa, a project, a social-oriented project in Paipa. These are examples of our courses exhibitions. These are students that go around the country exhibiting our traditions, our dances, and our musical theater all around. So most of our classes are staged. So deliveries, the end of the year deliveries, they are in actual real life theaters. They are not like in the course practical, but they are in life with real audiences. This is what we do with our practices in musical theater, for example. And we have exhibitions in which our students are key to the development of this, of the development of these projects. We also have a STEAM education approach, but given time, I'm going to skip this for a moment. And we have something which is very important, which is transdisciplinary observation. Contemporary educational approaches incorporate arts into various areas to stimulate the social and emotional aspects of learning. However, and this is very important, integrating the diversity of the arts into education remains a pending challenge due to entrenched practices that prioritize disciplinarity. In Colombia, disciplinarity is so strong that it's very difficult to abolish the frontiers between disciplines. At FACREA, on the contrary, educating for transdisciplinary creativity develops alternative forms of thinking and communication, imagination and problem solving, transformative perspectives. This is very important to us, that our students are not students from a program. They are students addressing creativity through different approaches. We have a lot of courses from all sorts, and all of our students, they build their own trajectory. We don't have like preconceived trajectories, but students build their trajectory as they move through the curricula. And so, having said that, it means that, for example, an architecture student can choose between a broad variety of minors within his career and within other careers. So students can graduate with minors in ephemeral architecture, but also visual arts. Students can have a major in design, but then have a minor in ephemeral architecture. For students within the arts, they can have a minor in performance and time-based arts, but then they can have a minor as well in animation and video games. And that is what we address through our programs. I'm going to skip this very fast. Tell you a little bit about the production company, which is important to deliver this message, because through our production companies, we have students that address wardrobe, costume design, illumination, scenography. They act in front of the scene. They are in the back of the scene in post-production or production roles. So this is a great space to bring creativity together and to be able to deliver real life shows to audiences within Bogota and around. We also believe in education for life. So we have courses for all ages, starting with kids and babies up to seniors who take our courses in dances, etc. And these are some of the shows that we've developed in the last 3 years. Big budget, like common blockbuster shows like Mamma Mia, or original shows as The Fantastic Kingdom of Orchids or The Composer of Dreams. These are some of the pictures from the shows that we've delivered with our production company. And to finish this, these are some of the examples of our spaces, because this wouldn't be possible with a flexible idea of space. We don't have like regular standardized classrooms, but we have open workshops where we have our courses taking place. These are examples of the spaces, some of them designed by Gloria. Actually, she designed some of these spaces for the faculty. These are, for example, spaces where we have our formation in crafts, together with the alliance that we have with the school of Santo Domingo School. These are spaces for musical theater as well. And this is our community, 100 creative individuals working in our faculty for more than 700 students. And it's a great faculty of creative individuals that work together in a very passionate and dedicated form. And so this is us. These are some links. We are very happy to be part of ELIA, which is the European League of Institutes of the Arts, and of Cumulus as well, which is this organization that explores research in design and in art. Also, some of our allies and some of our key links to our networks, to Instagram, Facebook, etc. So, well, that's about it. And well, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Juan Pablo. It's I mean, it's very radical in the way, like, it's very, powerful to hear, like this fact of, like, having 50% of the precedents and references coming from the South, and also like part of the faculty are also from non-letter backgrounds, which is pretty impressive in the way it's like kind of like provocative in the way it's embracing new ways of knowledge. So saying that, that's it. I would like to introduce Arcenio. So Lina is going to introduce Arcenio.
Oh, hi, how are you all? I didn't have the time to say hi to everyone here, but okay. I'm gonna introduce Arcenio Moya, who is our special guest today, because he's gonna talk about his practice, and a practical practice, if I may say. So Arcenio Moya is also a professor at Facultad de Creación, or Faculty of Creation, at the Universidad del Rosario. He is a master craftsman of the Huaunam people, an indigenous community in Colombia. At 39 years old, he carries with him the territorial trajectories of the Chocó jungle in Colombia, and its rivers, the Pacific coast, the Huaunan rituals, and the traditional medicine of his people too. And he has been adapted to life in city of Bogota due to a lot of historical and political issues in the country. But yeah, so coming from that place, he has managed to showcase the cultural process embodied in basketry and jewelry made with the huerengue palm, that is a fiber, a natural fiber, empowering female artisans and ensuring that the history of Chocó, where he is from, is now in different households, both nationally and internationally. So nowadays, he's the full-time professor and the clear example of how Facultad de Creación is doing and building those relationships with people from diverse backgrounds, and in this case, a master craftsman, as Arcenio Moya is. So, bienvenido, Arcenio. Muchas gracias por estar acá. Estamos muy felices de tenerte y de que nos puedas compartir un poco de tu trabajo. Thank you very much, Arcenio, for being here. We're very happy and excited to have this opportunity to share this space with you, and also having the opportunity to transmit your knowledge that is very valuable, that I know due to our conversations. That is a treasure to have you here. And Thank you. Gracias. Bueno, Arcenio, creo que ya puedes empezar. Pues todo lo puedes hacer en español, obviamente. Acá tenemos a una persona que estará traduciendo. Entonces, tú siéntete libre de contar tu historia y expresar un poco de la práctica que has hecho, tanto como persona como profesional.
Listo. Muy buenas tardes para todos. Yo soy indígena de la etnia Guaunal del Chocó. Ya llevo acá en Bogotá, llevo más o menos 15 años trabajando con el grupo Mujeres Artesanas, Madres de Cabezas de Hogar. Estamos ubicados acá 140 familias desplazadas por la violencia del territorio. Entonces, nuestro sustento, más que todo, es la artesanía, es el trabajo más que tenemos acá en Bogotá. Trabajamos con una palma URG, plasmamos una historia, una simbología histórica que nuestros ancestros nos dejó una herencia y plasmamos, tejemos más que todo bandejas, jarrones, pulseras, aretes de diferentes piezas que también lo podemos trabajar. Mi experiencia desde que pequeños empecé a trabajar desde 12 años con la palma huerregue es más que todo mi trabajo venía desde mi familia y mi mamá me enseñó todo este trabajo. No sabía, desde que ya llevaba tiempos acá en Bogotá, no sabía que iba a enseñar a otras personas, como Universidad de Rosarios, que me dieron la oportunidad de enseñar, compartir nuestra idea a los estudiantes. Eso fue una experiencia muy bonita que llevo. Cuando hablaba de nuestra cultura y compartiendo con la universidad, eso fue un choque muy bonito para la etnia guaunán, porque todo el mundo no conocía la etnia guaunán. A través de la universidad empezaron a investigar qué es guaunán y qué es la palma huerque que trabajamos. Entonces nosotros enseñando la simbología, ellos entendieron cómo nosotros trabajamos eh, con la simbología más que todo ancestral. Entonces todo es un impacto que le dieron cuando los estudiantes me hicieron pregunta que ellos nunca no sabían que el arte de la palma huergue existía. Entonces eso fue muy bonito, que llevo acá con ellos. Un trabajo que estamos haciendo con la universidad es muy bonito. Para mi experiencia también más mejorado y entenderlo también con la palma URG, que eso es una cosa muy única y lo que nosotros elaboramos. Entonces lo voy a mostrar, los jarrones que nosotros elaboramos acá con los guauná. Esto que nosotros trabajamos. El jarroncitos. Estos son los jarrones que se llama, tiene su simbología ancestral, se llama la huella de cangrejo. Una historia. Nuestra herencia.
Perdóname, Arcenio, voy a aclarar una cosa antes de que continúes, que pueden interrumpirte así. Para los que quieran traducción del español al inglés, pueden bajar en la parte, en la herramienta de abajo, al lado del CC, del símbolo CC, y pueden acceder a la interpretación en inglés o en español. For people who wants to get a caption on this opportunity, you can go to the bar below, close to the CC, and select English or Spanish to the translation, for the translation. Gracias, Arcenio. Ya puedes continuar.
Llevamos el campo.
Oh, Arcenio, ya estamos bien. Ya, sí.
Ok. Entonces, bueno, estamos trabajando con, estos son una bandeja para colocar centro mesa o para colocar en el pared, pero también llevan sus combinaciones de colores. Ejemplo, esta bandeja representa su color terracota, representa como tierra donde nosotros sembramos, donde vamos en el camino, donde todo lo cultivamos. Y la simbología que representa rayas se llama la lágrima de nuestra madre tierra. Esos son una historia que nosotros sentimos. Acá cuando llegamos en Bogotá, sentimos un dolor, impacto. Ya no es territorio, eso es una ciudad grande. Entonces esos sentimientos plasmamos, las artesanas plasman sus sentimientos, que lo que van sucediendo, entonces van tejiendo ellos una historia y van creando. Como esos también. Trabajamos con madera, con un árbol de la madera, entonces eso lo elaboramos, entonces cada uno van plasmando también los color vino tinto y color natural. También tengo color negro, un bol. El color negro solito, ¿por qué lo colocamos? Porque en un selvático hay hormigas, son venenosas, hormigas venenosas, y eso es peligroso. Entonces nosotros ese sentimiento que nosotros vemos en la naturaleza, nos plasmamos a una pieza. Y también trabajamos, esto se llama individual, para colocar centro mesa, o para también poder colocar en el pared. Eso es color blanco, su color natural de la palma verde. Y entonces explicaré un poquitico qué es lo que trabajamos. La base rollo, o sea, la palma trabaja con una base para empezar un jarrón de diferentes piezas. Entonces voy trabajando con estas bases. Eso es un arete que lo estoy trabajando. Entonces su color es combinar. O sea, las aretes siempre nosotros miramos en una revista, en una publicidad, por YouTube o por videos que es lo que están trabajando, que es lo que están las mujeres en el día, cambian sus ropas, cuál pueden colocar. Entonces, eso es de acuerdo de combinaciones, nosotros estamos trabajando. Los aretes siempre trabajan por eso. Ya casi no es sentimientos y no es casi como la naturaleza. Entonces nosotros siempre miramos sus colores de vestimentos. Entonces cada pieza habla un flor. Acá estoy trabajando con un diseño, un flor combinado con cobre. Y su color son naranja y un azul, color azul. Entonces van plasmando. Entonces que acá lo voy a hacer cada hebrita y voy tejiendo con una aguja y una pinza necesito. Entonces voy trabajando así, jalando así fuertemente. Y acá estoy trabajando. Cuando ya me empiezo a tejer, estoy conectado con un territorio, ¿sí? En la naturaleza, que es lo que hay, como cada puntada, y voy dando como un sentimiento, qué es lo que estoy haciendo, qué simbología quiero plasmar y qué quiero lograr una pieza elaborada hechos a manos. Y ahí cada hebra y voy cambiando los colores. Estos trabajos solamente antiguamente eran las mujeres, ¿sí? Las mujeres nomás que trabajaban y los hombres buscaban solamente la fibra, cortaban y traían sus casas. Y los trabajos eran todos de las mujeres nomás. Entonces, cuando nosotros vimos esos trabajos no es para las mujeres nomás, también ya incluimos los hombres, también ya empiezan a trabajar y ayudarles a la familia también para poder. Como antiguamente estos jarrones no era para comercializar, ¿sí? Eran para uso de nosotros. Ahí colocaba eran el suelo, colocaba eran las moneditas, las cosas que necesitaba, colocaban acá. Entonces las monjas de España, creo que fueron en el territorio, descubrieron que esos podía vender. Entonces todo el mundo quería comprar la palma huergue hechos a mano, entonces ya ahí empezaron a comercializar. Entonces todo el mundo hoy en día están trabajando, tanto los niños, jóvenes, están trabajando fuertemente en este tema. Y acá en Bogotá nosotros estamos también trabajamos dependiendo las necesidades de nuestros clientes, bellos de los colores, las combinaciones, entonces plasmamos esos sentimientos y esos simbología plasmamos acá en Bogotá. Pero para nosotros es importante tener la simbología plasmada a una pieza porque nosotros no teníamos una escritura. No hay escritura escrita de los Guaunán, cómo pronunciar. Entonces, a través del arte, de la palma huergue, de los jarrones, de las artesanías, entonces cada simbología hay una escritura, hay un significado. Entonces, entendemos todas estas que lo que están plasmadas, ahí habla una palabra escrita para nosotros. Entonces eso es muy bonito y por eso siempre estamos trabajando tanto los niños. Hoy acá en Bogotá estamos enseñando la lengua propia y estamos enseñando la fibra URG y para qué sirven, para qué utilizan. Entonces ellos ya están entendiendo a trabajar en ese sistema también. Y tanto en la universidad, en la universidad que más que todo aprendí a enseñar este tema porque yo nunca, yo no era docente, solamente era maestro, enseñaba a las artesanas cómo trabajamos, cómo lo hacemos, cómo la forma pueden quedar. Entonces la universidad, enseñarlo en español es medio muy como, primera vez sí me dio como duro, pero ya la segunda ya cogí el tiro como enseñarlo y explicarlo a los estudiantes, eso fue muy bonito. En mi experiencia en la universidad es muy valioso también para acá y nos dé como las penas que nos da, entonces se quita esa timidez con hablarle con los estudiantes. Y cuando nos pregunta también ya empiezo a soltar, explico a ellos también cómo lo que queremos lograr unas piezas. Ahorita ellos están haciendo unos portavasos de 12 centímetros, entonces ellos están, como son diseñadoras, ellos que más tienen como más, como dibujan en su cuaderno y lo muestran y cuando empiezan a trabajar esas cosas, combinaciones de colores, ellos saben cómo combinar los colores. Estamos trabajando fuertemente. Ya ahorita, este semestre ya entregan todos los trabajos bien hechos, bien elaborados y ahorita van el tercero y el segundo van a trabajar aretes, manillas, pulseras, lo que quieren hacer ellos. Están explorando muchos. Muy bonito esa experiencia que la universidad está dando. Estoy muy contento, ¿verdad? Gracias, Juan Pablo.
A ti, Arcenio.
Muchas gracias, Arsenio, por por tan inspiradora historia y práctica que estás llevando y que básicamente nos estás brindando y compartiendo a todos nosotros. Es muy inspirador a todos nosotros y nosotras. Ok, antes de comenzar nuestra conversación y preguntas, que hay muchas para ti, Arsenio, vamos a pasar a Piedad. Um, so, so Piedad Aguilar, I would like to introduce Piedad Aguilar, our last panelist for this evening. So Piedad Aguilar, she's a textile researcher with a master in fashion from Goldsmith University of London and Bachelor of Visual Arts from the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Chile, with studies in finance at the ESE Business School of the University of Los Andes and the technical studies in fashion design at the EBA in Buenos Aires. So for the past 14 years, she has been working in fashion and textile experimentation, developing projects such as her multi-brand store Hall Central, Moda Chile, Mock Projects, Casa Studio, among others. And as a professor at the Universidad Andrés Bello at the beginning of 2018, she launched her rock studio, A Whole New World, which she designs and manufactures personally using only natural materials from Chile. Nowadays, she's the director of the Textile Arte Biennale in Chile, head of the Fiber Lab at the BA Creative Crafts at Universidad Católica de Temuco in Chile as well, and professor at the same institution. Also, she continues with the development of AW and IV. So thank you. Thanks for joining, Piedad.
Hi everyone. Hola a todos. Thank you for having me here. Today I want to talk about the Textile Biennale, the Art Textile Biennale, that is going to happen now. Like on Saturday, we open. So yeah, I have been working in textiles since forever, I can say. But this project specifically, we have been developing like the past 4 years. I'm going to share my screen. I have an English presentation and a Spanish presentation. So sorry, here. Wait a second. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Okay. So the Textile Art Biennale start like 2019. We start developing this idea, trying to understand if in Chile we have like textile tradition, but we're not sure if there were a lot of in textile art, contemporary textile art. Depth in the exhibition of textile art. So we start thinking of like in a biennale, but maybe in an exhibition, so we can try all the artists, like Chilean artists. So without knowing how to produce like an event in that way, we decided to talk to the artists and see if they were like interested in exhibit the pieces in Chile. And we were surprised that all the artists that we never knew or kind of famous, or everybody said yes to this new space or a new like event. And so we started developing a little exhibition in a like little space in Santiago, Chile, and we don't know how, but start growing and growing and growing, and a lot of people started engaging to the exhibition. So at the end, we have like a 2-month exhibition with a lot of visitors and a lot of I don't know schools going to make some, I don't know, activities there, and like a lot of media covering the exhibition. So we decided that was the start of the Biennale. Like we name it like Bienal Zero, and from there we start working on what we want to do. And the pandemic came, COVID came, and we decided that the Biennale could not die, and start like looking for I can stay alive, basically. And sorry, and we start like developing of what we
Piedad,
powerful tool to tell stories.
Piedad. Oh, I think.
Ahí.
Sí, sí. Tal vez puedes apagar la cámara para
¿Ya?
cuando compartes la pantalla.
Sí. There? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Great.
Yes, perfect.
So I was saying, great. We decided to establish like the basis of what we wanted to say in the Biennale. So we understand that the textile is this powerful tool, and that it's been like for it, but also there's a message in nowadays from textiles. We understand that it inhabits many spaces of our lives, like the textile is not in art, but it also in, I don't know, our bodies, in our houses, in every place. So it's a language that is a daily language, and it's part of a collective imagination. So we associate this craft to craft to decorative arts, but also there's like this contemporary language that use textile and expand that language, and we wanted to show that in the first place, like not saying no to the like the decorative arts or to the ancient knowledge, but to mix both. So I was saying this first exhibition in 2019, we start like smelling like what was in the air here about textiles, and then in the pandemic we developed a project that was associated to Museo de la Memoria y los Derechos Humanos here in Santiago, that had the name of Las Palabras No, like that is associated to a text of Julieta Kirwood, that is a Chilean feminist from the 80s, and this text talk about how during the military coup men and people could take women with our language, not our words. So we decided to develop that project for a specific date, that is 25th of November, that is the International Day, the International Day to avoid, I lost the words in English, but el Día Internacional en contra de la violencia hacia la mujer. And we make an open call to all the women in Chile. This was via Instagram because we were all locked down here. And we asked them to read this text, analyze it, and embroider a word that manifests that reflection, like about the text or about words that every woman have not said or that want to say, etc. And we were surprised that by 250 women send us via mail their words, and we produce a huge quilt with all the words, and we show it in el Museo de la Memoria y los Derechos Humanos during the November 25th. The next year, here in Chile, the lockdown was super, super long. We stayed like 2 years in lockdown. So the next year it happened again. We decided to do this project like every year. So the next year we take the project to Valparaíso, to another region, and in that case, instead of doing it like everyone in separating their houses, we reunited a small group of women that as was like we only like sit and embroidery and talk about our reflections, but also we like, how do you say it? We remember the Círculo de Mujeres, that it was what happened with the arpilleristas in the 70s here in Chile, that all the women get reunited and start like doing their own process in textile, but also they start sharing the process. So it was like an individual, but also a collective textile process. So with all that, we decided to that the Biennale was a celebration, like was a party, like a celebration of this contemporary expression, a celebration of the new development of the interpretation of this language. We wanted to make relevance of textiles not only in Chile but also around Latin America. So we decided to invite half of the artists are from Chile, the other half is from Latin America mostly. And also we became like a cultural organization. So we are not only a project, but also we are like a place where other textiles event could happen. So the Biennale starts on Saturday. At the beginning it was little, but start growing all this year. Now we have 2 spaces where we are going to show. We also have a side show in Centro Cultural La Moneda that is about arpilleras. Like this year is the commemoration of the 50 years of military coup. So we decide to make a side show of arpilleras that is like the base of maybe the most powerful textiles from Chile. And we aim to call all people to the Biennale. We don't want to put this like textile art in a place where everyone can't understand. Like, we think that textile is so common and so for everyone that everyone have to understand what we are showing. So we're focused on do it simple, but also deep and well, and inclusive for everyone. We have like a center line, if we can say it, of the Biennale that is based on seeing, understanding, and doing. When I see, I connect with memory and with my day-to-day. So when I see, I can relate with other things. So the idea is to go to the Biennale and you see what you have in front and you relate in some point. Maybe you know how to do the technique that the piece of art is in front of that is in front of you, or you have seen it before, so you can relate in some way when you see. Also, in the understanding, you connect with history, with the people that produce. So I understand and I can feel part of the thing that I understand. And in the way of doing, I can connect with the ritual, with the raw material, with the craft. So I can do and I can express myself. So in these three strong words are like what we are focused on, also the curatorship and all the text that we are developing. So you can see, understand, and do. And in that way you can read all the exhibition. What else? Well, how I say before, the Biennale is here in Chile, the spring starting. So we took that to make this spring party, if we can say it like that, so we can celebrate the blossoming of this new way of seeing textiles. Or way of showing textiles. Like in Chile, there have been only one textile exhibition in 2012, and that's it. And we have like a broad and huge artists that work in textile, and nobody have seen it. So for the curator, that Matías Allende is the curator of the Biennale, it was super important to not only invite like super contemporary artists, but also like the first generation, if we can name it like that, of Chilean textile artists. So we have a really nice mix between like the masters of textile art here and the new generations that are like discovering maybe this new language. What else? I think, yeah, the Biennale, we are super like excited of this first edition, if we can say it like that, because we think it's going to like be an important step for the way contemporary art here in Chile includes textiles in their exhibition. So now we're super happy. We invite you all, if you come to Chile. We're going to be like 1.5 months open. So yeah, now from Saturday I'm going, I don't know, we want to start like it's not like a new movement, but like a new way of understanding art, also like a more personal way, a more a common way, because textile can give you that, like an everybody way. of seeing art. And I think that's it for now.
Super. Thank you very much, Juan Pablo, Arcenio, and Piedad. Voy a decir esto en español y después me cambio al inglés. Voy a hacer las preguntas en inglés, especialmente porque bueno, en el marco de la invitación y también porque hay espectadores que asumo que solamente hablan inglés. Y bueno, y aparte está la traducción, así que podemos hacer el cambio. Thank you very much. I was telling that I'll be speaking in English to make the questions because some of the audience might be only speaking English and it's the frame of the event. So I would like to start making a question for Piedad, especially because she was the last speaking today. And well, anyways, I had a lot of questions that I would love to address at some point. But let's see. But I wrote it down here. That's why I'm looking to the other side. But during the morning, we had speakers talking about interrelationships, cooperative relationships between species, and the role of the community in the making process. Also about the necessity of unlearning and de-specify ourselves. Then how can we understand the women role and the feminist ideas in these matters? Especially when I was taking a look about this, the role of Julieta Kirkwood in your practice and one of your practices. There's a relationship among those many concepts thrown today, because talking about textiles, we start speaking about many matters. So what is the role of the women in all these matters as a concept, more than as a maker, but could be both?
I think I'm going to answer in Spanish, may I? Because I think it's a complex question. Creo que en el textil el rol de la mujer es bastante protagonista. Pasa que, bueno, aparte del constructo social que en general se le aplica al textil desde la mujer, como que está la mujer en su casa tejiendo, bordando, creo que eso normalmente, o quizás en las prácticas textileras, se ve bien y se ve mal. Yo creo que es fundamental ese rol de la mujer en el proceso textil, más que nada por el traspaso de información. Me gustó algo muy bonito que dijo Arcenio, que tenía que ver con la tradición que se transmite por medio, en su caso, de una escritura gráfica y no quizás de un lenguaje hablado, y de esa manera se genera una lengua propia. Creo que en el mundo más hacia lo femenino del textil tiene que ver un poco con eso, con esa lengua propia que va más allá solamente del acero, de la técnica, sino que es como un traspaso femenino, lamentablemente. No lamentablemente para mí, sino que quizá hay como que son sabidurías que se entienden, más que se enseñan. Yo creo que la tradición textil o ese traspaso como interno casero de la tradición textil es la gran parte que lo hace también quizás especial, de poder leerlo sin saber leerlo, o de poder entenderlo sin realmente saber la técnica, por ejemplo. Y pasando quizás al proyecto que hicimos con Julieta Kirkwood, fue bien impresionante el fenómeno que sucedió, más allá de que en la pandemia estábamos encerrados y era lógico que uno tenía necesidades de contacto con otras personas. La cantidad de bordados que llegaron al museo y la historia que venía detrás de esos bordados nos dio a entender más aún cómo esa necesidad de hacer comunidad y hacer comunidad desde el textil. También, bueno, unieron varias cosas. El estallido social en Chile, que hubo en 2019, volvió a abrir como una rama del desarrollo textil que venía más hacia el mundo de la protesta, que también es muy hermoso porque es otro tipo de lenguaje desde lo textil. Pero con lo que sucedió en las palabras nos dimos cuenta de todo lo que había que decir en torno al textil y en torno a ese sentimiento del hacer por medio del textil. No sé si contesté tu pregunta, pero eso.
Sí, súper.
Thank you, Piedad. Okay. I have a question about the practice of Arcenio, so I'm gonna ask him in Spanish. But also it interconnects with what Piedad has been saying with the work of Artilleras, that is also very close to the molas in Panama, but of course with another meaning. But yeah, I think those like both connects in the way that they translate and carries a valuable meaning for the community. Arcenio, ¿estás ahí? Me gustaría hacerte una pregunta. No sé si me escuchas, creo que tienes la cámara apagada. ¿Sí?
Sí,
Súper.
sí, lindo.
Listo ya, no, solo para estar segura. Si la quieres apagar está también bien. Me parece muy interesante hablando contigo desde el principio que nos comentabas que la sabiduría que tienes desde la comunidad Huaunán, perdón, y cómo lograste abrir el conocimiento desde, bueno, tú como persona, pero cómo lograste abrir esa puerta entre la comunidad Huaunán y la facultad de creación para poder explorarlo y llevarlo a otras voces, porque pues no sé si ahorita nos puedes explicar un poco, pero así en contexto, lo que estaba diciendo Piedad, muchas veces también, y como tú también lo dijiste, esa labor artesanal que se crea con las manos lleva unos significados consigo, y esos significados son muy propios de un territorio específico, y poderlos evidenciar y hablar para que las demás personas lo entiendan, no solo como Piedad dijo, no es algo que se entiende, sino que ya se lleva, como por decirlo así, en la sangre, no sé también cómo explicarlo. Pues me parece muy interesante desde la Facultad de Creación poder abrir esas puertas, porque el textil y también el hacer manual tiene muchos significados, y tanto en las arpilleras en Chile que lograron al ser una voz al mismo tiempo que un sustento ante una situación política que estaba pasando en la cultura cuna en Panamá y Colombia. Las molas logran ser, al igual que en la comunidad Huaunán, logran ser una evidencia de la identidad y la cosmogonía que tiene una comunidad. Entonces, sí me gustaría saber un poco de ese proceso, cómo lograste abrir esa puerta y si has tenido pues otras voces dentro de tu comunidad que puedan, como, no sé, que puedas contarnos un poco de esta apuesta por
Lina,
expandir el
gracias.
conocimiento.
Pregunta muy interesante. Entonces, no, bueno, cuando nosotros llegamos acá en Bogotá, primero que todo, nosotros no sabíamos hablar en español, ¿no? Cuando llegamos acá, personalmente, yo no hablaba en español. Entonces yo me puse a estudiar un poco de contabilidad. Quería como entender qué era contabilidad. No sabía, pero ahí aprendí muchas cosas. Entonces empecé a trabajar cuando llegué acá en Bogotá. Uno no sabe dónde está ubicado, cómo puede hacer a adaptar en una ciudad tan grande. No hay empleo, no hay nada. Y empecé a estudiar y conseguí un amigo, me recomendó, había un camp vacante para trabajar en un restaurante. Empecé ahí. Cuando empecé a trabajar en un restaurante, se sabe que todo el mundo habla en español y uno entiende, casi no lo pronunciaba. Entonces yo le decía, a veces, para que no me preguntara, yo le decía a todo que sí. Sí, todo sí, sí, para que no me hiciera preguntas. Entonces lo hacía rápido, aprendí muchas cosas, algunas palabras, unos compañeros mismos me enseñaban, pronuncia así, toca hablarles así, para los hombres tiene que pronunciar así, así. Aprendí un poco estudiando también. Entonces, y renuncié del donde yo trabajaba, trabajé 9 años, ya hablaba bien, desde cocina hasta llegué casi a administrar un punto. Entonces cuando renuncié, no tenía mi estudio ni gastronomía ni nada, empecé a estudiar gastronomía para poner un negocio o algo. Entonces no me resultó como no. Entonces, como renuncié y tenía trabajo, yo desde pequeño sabía hacer artesanía, ¿sí? Entonces, bueno, empecé con artesanía. Nos fuimos a vender artesanía de Colombia. Fui yo de las personas que fui allá a buscarle a ellos, explicando la situación de los pueblos guaunán acá en Bogotá, cómo estamos, trabajamos, cómo lo que tenemos nuestro producto, cómo venderlos. Entonces, una de las artesanías de Colombia me explicó, tenía que vender allá, usted puede vender sus productos. Entonces fui allá y nos fue súper bien. Entonces al mes llegaron artesanías de Colombia, nos acercaron y a mí me eligieron como líder de ese grupo. Entonces empezamos ahí. Creamos con 18 artesanas, reunimos, entonces, ¿cómo lo podemos? No sabíamos cómo vender, cómo poner su precio, porque nosotras la técnica sabíamos cómo trabajar técnicamente, pero nosotros no sabíamos cómo vender y cuánto valía una pieza de jarrones grande, no teníamos ni ideas. Entonces ellos nos dieron capacitaciones, nos sacaron la mano de obra, de todo, cómo lo podemos trabajar con la fibra URG y dónde lo podemos conseguir las fibras. Entonces esas fibras solamente hay un tiempo nomás en el territorio, un tiempo menguante se lo puede cortar la cinta y sacar la cinta al secado, todo eso va en sus procesos. Eso no es cosas que ya la podemos trabajarle inmediatamente entregar, pero no. Estamos hablando de una pieza de 1 mes, de 2 meses, hasta 1 año. Entonces, esto trabajo, cuando abrieron la puerta a mi artesanía de Colombia, empezamos a promover, ¿no? Entonces yo era como más pila de ese grupo. Y yo preguntaba cómo lo podemos vender, cómo a través de red social. Abrimos nuestras cuentas de Instagram, de Facebook, de WhatsApp para poderle promocionar nuestros productos. Entonces todo mundo, cuando abrimos ese red social y llega la pandemia, ¿sí? Nosotros quedamos así mano cruzado, no teníamos fibra, no teníamos nada así. Pero como yo soy muy inteligente, siempre yo tengo mis jarrones, mis fibras guardadas, ¿sí? Bastantes teníamos ahí, empezamos a elaborar y ahí llega el cobre, ¿sí? El cobre del hilo cobre, empezamos con cobre y URG. Entonces eso nos pusimos a ponerle nuestra página a todos nuestros clientes, yo llamaba, ¿sí? Hacíamos esto, y cómo nos podían ayudar. Mira, eso funcionó, el grupo Nahuema funcionó, eso, la empresa que nosotros creamos, Nahuema, tiene tres años nomás. En 3 años nomás nosotros teníamos gentes, nos llamaban, hacían pedidos nacionales, internacionales, nos hacían pedidos, ¿sí? O sea, a mí me hizo la puerta grande fue la red social. O sea, todo el mundo nos conocieron, hasta llegaron noticieros, RCN, Caracol, nos hicieron entrevistas, muchas cosas nosotros a través de redes sociales nos llegaron muchas mensajes. Entonces, y hoy en día cuando la Universidad de Rosario, Artesanía de Colombia, me dicen, ay, usted puede, Universidad de Rosario está necesitando unos artesanos, usted puede medirles allá. Yo le dije, no, ese tema no sé hacer, no sé cómo lo voy a hacer. Y el profesor Fernando me dice, no, eso es bueno, es así, y tú puedes enseñarles las fibras que usted sabe, que todas. Bueno, primer día un semestre completo me ayudó explicando, lo explicaba él y él traducía a todos los estudiantes a entenderlos. Entonces, Universidad de Rosario, cuando me dio esa oportunidad, lo vi que estos temas no es para nosotros mismos, que también podemos compartir esos conocimientos tanto con los estudiantes de la universidad. Entonces, esos impactos cuando vi esos, ya hay como dos, entonces manejarlo, los artesanos y los estudiantes. O sea, esos proyectos tan Nahuema cuando me llevó, es una experiencia, fue brutal. O sea, desde ahorita estamos todo mundo están pidiendo, ahorita ya es temporal alto, para nosotros es temporal alto. Entonces estamos llenos de manos de trabajo, las artesanas todo el día están trabajando, o sea, hoy en día nosotros no teníamos como tiempo ya libre, descansando. Día y noche estamos para entregar pedidos, estamos trabajando fuertemente. Y hay empleabilidad a las artesanas, o sea, yo trabajaba para la comunidad acá en Bogotá nomás, y ahorita yo estoy metiendo ya a la gente del territorio, de la comunidad del territorio, y allá estoy enviando los pedidos, también están trabajando. O sea, no es Nahuema, no es para acá, no, para todos los Guaunán que saben trabajar artesanías de la palma huerre, entonces están conectados conmigo. Todo el día están llamando, qué es lo que hay, qué hacerlo. Las comunidades, no es la comunidad donde yo vivo, todas las comunidades del litoral del San Juan ya están escribiendo por WhatsApp. Si no contesto por WhatsApp, entonces me están llamando, todo el día están ocupados. O sea, ese trabajo cuando le abrieron la puerta no es yo no sabía llegarle esta empresa a crecerlos, ¿no? Entre 4 años estoy ya digo que ya no puedo más, o sea, ya necesitaríamos como más gente de como tenerle secretarios, todo eso, organizarlos. Lo que creo que me falta un poquito ya por hacerlos. Pero los demás, las puertas que abrieron ahorita hoy en día, todo mundo quieren trabajar, los estudiantes, me llamaron también Universidad de los Andes, todas universidades me están preguntando que cómo yo puedo trabajar con ellos, pero por ahorita me estoy aceptando por solamente mi Universidad de Rosario nomás. Eso por ahorita con ellos nomás, porque la verdad, las fibras de la palma huergue no es fácil de traerlos. O sea, toca encargar antes y después traerlos, enviarlos, llegarlos acá. No, eso es trabajo muy pesado. Y también, como hechos a mano, no son con máquina. Eso es, por eso siempre tengo que dejarlo entenderlo a las artes, nuestros clientes. Son pedidos, cuando piden, tiene que llevar su tiempo, 1 mes, 2 meses, 3 meses para poder entregarlos. Eso, mi experiencia fue muy bonito acá en Bogotá y tanto el territorio y con la universidad. Y ya voy creciendo ahí poco a poco, pero ¿dónde voy a llegar?
Muchas gracias, Arsenio. Sí, no,
Gracias a ustedes.
es increíble, es muy profunda la historia. Y bueno, y ligado a esto, hay varias preguntas, bueno, hay dos preguntas que me gustaría, bueno, una que viene de una persona que acaba de irse, bueno, voy a cambiar en inglés, es para Juan Pablo. So this is a question for Juan Pablo, made by a person who had to run, coming from the new school. And it's about the transdisciplinary education. So I'm going to read basically the full question that she sent. So Juan Pablo, I'm curious about how does the transdisciplinary education work among departments? For example, is there any collaboration between architecture and the theater production company? And how is this reflected in the design of the curriculums?
Thank you, Ruben. And well, it's great to listen to the two presentations that we had today. I learned a lot. Thank you very much. And well, it was very difficult for us at the beginning because in Colombia we have a very rigid structure with programs, with undergraduate programs. So it's mandatory that each undergraduate program is sort of like a lane, right? You start from first year up to fourth or fifth year, and you have to work all the way through your lane and persevere on that lane. So you have to be either a graphical designer, a visual artist, an architect, etc. So that is the way that education works. But what we discovered through studies, and this is not new because of course many other countries in the world has this, but we discovered through studies is that this is not what is going on in real life. We found a lot of students that first of all, they begin someplace and then at the middle of their career, they just have to change because that was not for them. Or they started studying an undergraduate program, and when they graduated, they didn't know they didn't want to continue with the career they studied. So they wanted to quickly change to a master's in something else or work on something else. So what we saw is that nowadays, this is not working. I mean, staying 4 years and a half in your same lane and graduate like in a standardized graduation form, for example, for architects, having 80 architects graduating all with the same structure of thought and with the same, that's not working for the employment either. You have 80 people going out to try to find the same one spot at work. So that is when we try to develop this more like organic and fluid structure that I would represent in this following metaphor, and is that of trees. So our curricula, our structure in the faculty works with two trees. We have one tree, which is, I would call it like the material approach to creativity. And it has this common trunk, which is the foundation year. And in this foundation year, we have students from architecture, from design, and from arts and for creative studies working all together. They work all together. So this first year is the trunk, and then we have like 4 branches. So students can choose one of the 4 branches. So if they began with architecture and throughout the year they discovered that it was not architecture but arts, they can change branch, or if they wanted to do 2 branches, they could do that. So we have this branching method in which they grow up. And then at the end, we have all sorts of minors, and they can move from one branch to another minor and to another minor. So I would link like the leaves, like the foliage. That is one tree. And then we have another tree, which is the basis of, well, this is not correct, but would say like immaterial creation or non-material creation or live creation, which is art with this, which is music, dance, theater, musical theater. So they have a common tree as well. And then we have branches as well. And then we have minors. And the nice thing is that the 2 trees, they touch in the minors. So you can go from design to do a minor in theater production. Or you can go through architecture to have a minor in visual arts. So at the end, all the minors touch. Again, this is not new. We know that mainly around the world, in Anglo-Saxon countries mainly, we have this structure. But what we saw is that they have it like simultaneously. You can have a major and a minor. So we don't have it like that. We have it sequentially. So you have the major and then you have the minor. And then the minors touch. And then our postgraduate programs in which we are working, because we are very new faculty, they are more interdisciplinary even. So we have our postgraduate studies, they are with other faculties and schools. So we have all sorts of postgraduates that are even more interdisciplinary. So we brought this structure to the university, and the university loved it. And so now all the schools and faculties in the university are switching to this structure of majors and minors and foundation years, etc. And it's been successful within students. Students have liked it a lot. It gives us a lot of flexibility and it adapts. So we have different exit ways, and the production company, to go back to the question, is a get-together place. So students from all the faculty, they get together there to work in the production, in the scenography, in wardrobe, in lighting, in graphic design, and acting, of course, and singing and dancing. So it's like the place where we all get together.
Thank you. Also, I would like to ask you a question, Juan Pablo. Like a kind of a follow with this, and especially because I would like to question the role of the academia as a platform, but also highlighting the role of the academia as a tool or as a platform for developing communications from or for or to the South or the global South, in this case, Latin American entities. And this could also target or reach what is been doing in other entities like BAT, for example, in Chile, or other ones, like organizations, academia especially. And in this case, I would like to, I'm gonna read this. I would like to, how entities like the El Rosario, for example, are understanding their role and space in the field of the manners and ways of doing and thinking in the South. And how should a global South position needs to be taken from the institution? And also, if it's possible to ask, how detached from global North it needs to be or wants to be to achieve Latin American position is this way. You talk about Anglo-Saxons ideas or reminiscence from modern ideas or whatever. So how academia achieve or embrace this role that they had, for example? I don't know if I was understood my question, but anyways.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Leon. So yes, to build this faculty, we did take a lot from the structures and the methods of global North academia, and mainly from structures that took place in the 20th century, but such as Butemas, the Bauhaus, of course, but then the do-it-yourself movement, which began in the North, but is now global all around the world. But we also took into account, for example, the radical pedagogies of Chile, of Mexico, the technological disobedience of Cuba. And so we brought all this together into the structure of the faculty. But then our big challenge was with the contents that we teach in the faculty. That is where the challenge is. And here we encountered that we needed to change a mindset. So for example, many students, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, their dream in Colombia is to go out of Colombia. They just have this dream, even if it's unrealizable. They just want to leave Colombia. So many of them, they see the university as a platform to do that. They just want to use a trampoline to exit. And so they are looking for studies in which they can encounter the North, right? And for a very long time, Colombia and many other countries in the region, they have delivered that. So you go into a school of arts or design or architecture, and you find that, for example, the histories of culture. So it's a sequence. It's Egypt, Greece, Rome, Europe, right, and then US, and so that just builds up this sense of inferiority and reaffirms the idea of a trampoline. So the university is a trampoline. So you just want to graduate and go straight to New York, to Barcelona, to Paris, and that's like the dream come true, because that is what the university built you to do. So we are trying to change that in a very radical form. So I mentioned, for example, the way that we address history. We are shifting that idea. And so we study pre-Columbian, Mesoamerican, Aztec, Incan textiles, Islamic architecture, the Afro-diaspora throughout the South. That is what we learn in the histories of culture and creativity. And then all through the curricula, in workshops, in studios, in arts, in architecture and design, references. So in my case, my references when I studied architecture a long time ago, they were all like in the North, US, France, Le Corbusier, occasionally Barragan, and they were all men, right? They were all men and from the North. So we want to change that. So all of our references, and that is mandatory for all faculty, at least 50% of the references have to come from the South, and they have to represent diversity. So we can't have more than 50% of the references coming from men, for example, or heterosexual men, or heterosexual white men, right? So we want to change that, and that is a mindset. But it's difficult, because some students, they are, why don't we see Le Corbusier? They just ask that, or why do we see, this great, why do we see Picasso, and so on. So it's difficult to change. We go step by step and try to persuade not only students but faculty that this is very important, and this is the way that we have to address the Global South. So our guests as well, they come from the Global South. And it doesn't mean that we don't see the North. Of course, the North is really important. We cannot hide it, but we do it as long as it serves South, and it builds identity, and it builds a sense of purpose, and it builds self-esteem for the country as well.
Thank you, Juan Pablo. That is a very complex answer too, and due to the complex background. And I also want to add to this answer that you gave to the threat to Piedad, and also to ask you, taking into account today's global agenda of decolonization, a sense of belonging through new perspectives in academia and organizations as bad, that for me, how it is evident that also comes from interaction between ancestral heritage and innovation. The question is, how do you link with artisans and with other creators that are outside of the art in as identified as a Western definition artist, and how do you see that change through a platform as it is bad, that it is not only a platform to exhibit, but also to embrace a territory and a collective memory. So yeah, I want to ask you that.
Thank you for the question. I'm going to answer in Spanish. My English is very rusty today. Sorry, I haven't spoken English in a long time, so I prefer to.
No problem.
Mira, a nosotros nos pasó desde BAT cuando empezamos a armar estas bases de qué es lo que queríamos ser. Fue declarar qué era el arte textil. En el fondo, el textil, al ser un elemento tan amplio, la curatoría podía ser infinita, entonces decidimos trazar una línea en que el arte textil eran piezas que utilizaban el textil como medio de manera simbólica. Entonces dejamos lo utilitario de lado, dejando quizás la moda, el diseño, la artesanía utilitaria, más desde un lugar como práctico, no desde un lugar técnico. Entonces, todas las técnicas textiles, ya sean desde la artesanía o sean del vestuario, etcétera, podían estar incluidas en estas piezas simbólicas que íbamos a mostrar. Diciendo eso, en paralelo también definimos que queríamos que gran parte de nuestra curatoría fuera chilena y latinoamericana. Invitamos a un par de artistas europeos, pensando también en la idea de que cómo traer Europa al sur del mundo y mostrarle la calidad de lo que había y de cómo se podía entrelazar eso que acá quizás no es tan visto con lo que se ve mucho más en Europa. Y en relación a eso también, cómo estas técnicas quizás medias invisibilizadas o llevadas hacia algo más como casero, podían llevarse al ámbito del museo. Yo creo que parte de nuestra como misión es poder llevar esa artesanía o ese plano de las técnicas al museo sin creer que una es mejor que la otra o que una tiene más importancia que la otra. Yo creo o creemos en verdad, hablo yo creo que en torno a BAT completo, que es imposible que una sobreviva sin la otra, como estas técnicas tradicionales o estas técnicas textiles ancestrales o esta real conexión con esa tradición no podría existir, o sea, el arte contemporáneo textil de hoy no podría existir sin ella. Por lo tanto, no hay una jerarquía, sino que son como alianzas tácitas de una cosa con la otra. Y yo creo que eso es como nuestro gran motor de nunca relevar una más que la otra o nunca generar esa jerarquía de el artista textil es más que el artesano o la artesana que enseñó la técnica o que ayuda a producirlo, como al revés, es como, por favor, llevemos o entendamos la importancia que tiene la técnica y la visualidad y la conjunción de ambas, sobre todo estando aquí en Latinoamérica, como nos pasó un poco, como retomando lo que le preguntaba a Arcenio, desde como lo potente del mensaje en torno al hacer cuando habláis de las arpilleras, nos pasó que era muy ingenuo de nuestra parte si solamente nos dedicábamos al arte simbólico contemporáneo, dejar las arpilleras de lado, como hubiese sido muy contraproducente no involucrar ese arte que quizás es más práctico, fue muy comercializado en su momento a manera de sobrevivencia, y no mostrarlo, y también al mismo tiempo mostrarlo junto podría haber sido confuso. So, por eso también lo llevamos a una exhibición paralela, porque no podía no estar, no podía no convivir y no conversar, porque finalmente igual, claro, uno piensa en arte contemporáneo y quizás siempre es como una visión media abstracta elevada, pero en este caso, en el textil en particular, creo que es mucho más aterrizado porque, por lo que decía antes y que yo creo que es lo que más repetimos desde BAT, que es algo que entendemos todos, es algo que todos podemos como relacionarnos de alguna manera. Eso.
Perfecto, muchas gracias. Um, okay, so basically, okay, we wanted to, I mean, in order to like wrap up this conversation, I would like to ask all of the panelists if they have any question that you guys would like to ask the other. Yeah, I don't know if you have any question or like a kind of doubt for the other person, and so the other person can answer. Juan Pablo, yes.
Gracias. Bueno, tengo una pregunta para Piedad también sobre los textiles, sobre esta experiencia, pues porque realmente fue increíble lo que pudimos ver hoy, y sobre los textiles en el contexto latinoamericano. Es decir, creo que pues, Chile, por supuesto, que tiene ese ejemplar y casi que abandera estas prácticas de llevar el textil al mundo, además del arte, y al mundo de las galerías y los museos mundiales, es decir, ahora en particular, que estamos viendo una fuerte presencia de Chile en el mundo y muy bien representada además. Y quería preguntarle acerca del universo del textil latinoamericano, es decir, cómo podemos trabajar esta perspectiva del textil con una lógica del entender latinoamericano, que podría ser esto singular o no frente a otros lugares de nuestro planeta.
Yo creo que como lo más especial, y que lo vinculo un poco con lo que hablaba Arcenio al principio, tiene que ver con las distintas técnicas específicas que se generan en cada territorio. Obvio que hay un común y hay un, no sé, una técnica común de trama y urdimbre, que es la base de todo textil, pero finalmente como ese lenguaje particular de cada lugar, que tiene que ver con la historia, pero también como con dolores, con mensajes, con maneras de querer comunicarse. En el fondo el textil en su abstracción habla muy fuerte. Entonces yo creo que lo más potente que tiene el textil latinoamericano tiene que ver con eso, o sea, si uno se fija desde México hacia abajo, obvio que hay, no sé, en el universo andino, por supuesto que se mezclan cosas entre Chile, Perú, Bolivia, eh, pero aún así se va como mezclando hacia arriba, va adquiriendo otro tipo de color, otro tipo de forma, van adquiriendo otro tipo de textura también. Y yo creo que eso es lo más impresionante, en verdad. La variedad como de lenguajes que hay dentro de un territorio específico que se logra entender en el territorio completo. Nos pasó ahora con la curatoría, que en el fondo tenemos artistas peruanas, colombianas, brasilera, argentina, que, que, no sé, hay una misma técnica en Chile desde la Paulina Bruñoli, que tiene 83 años y es como de las como grandes íconos del textil chileno, convive exactamente igual en su lenguaje con Siu Vázquez, que tiene 30 años, y hablan de algo parecido, y no sé, y está Daniela Contreras, que es alumna de Paulina, y hablan también el mismo lenguaje. Entonces es muy bonito como sin querer, en verdad, nosotros invitamos según como nuestra perspectiva estética, creativa, y a medida que fueron aceptando y fueron mostrándonos su trabajo, fuimos dando cuenta cómo se entrelazaba todo, y que quizás suena muy cliché como este abanderamiento de los hermanos latinoamericanos, pero es real, como que es real, por lo menos en el textil es completamente real, cómo esa información se traspasa, no sé, por osmosis, como por el aire, por la historia, no sé, como inevitablemente hablamos el mismo lenguaje. Y yo creo que por eso también resuena tanto en el norte y sí, en Europa y Estados Unidos, porque, porque es muy propio. O sea, el fenómeno que pasa bueno, la Cecilia Vicuña tiene una trayectoria increíble y tiene por qué haber hecho ruido, pero cómo ha explotado en el último tiempo tiene que ver también con esa conexión súper pura con su tierra, con su discurso de acá, más allá de lo bello o no bello, tiene que ver con el territorio, y creo que eso se logra leer a nivel completo.
Muchas gracias.
Sí, yo tengo una
Gracias.
pregunta para ti. Voy a hacer esto en castellano, lo siento. No, que yo también trabajo en una escuela de oficios creativos. Armamos una escuela de oficios creativos, una carrera profesional en Temuco, que es en el sur de Chile. Y me impresionó mucho en tu presentación la cantidad de cosas parecidas que teníamos, y la manera que claro, eso transdisciplinar viene desde el hacer y cómo uno quiere enseñar, como que la academia pase por el hacer. Mi pregunta es que, ¿cómo se decidió que esto fuera? Porque para nosotros fue muy lógico porque todos los que estamos adentro hacemos cosas. Tenemos 3 áreas que es textiles, madera y cerámica y los 3 que estamos a cargo de cada área hace cosas también, no es solo académico. ¿Cómo ustedes tomaron esa decisión de decir me tiro a esta piscina de sé que por el hacer la gente va a entender y va a conectar con la academia?
Gracias, gracias. Pues yo creo que, bueno, en primer lugar, pues fantástico poder trabajar en conjunto y pues, agradecer también
Sí, no, no.
al colectivo haber propiciado este encuentro. Este lanzarnos al agua yo creo que surge también de nuestras propias preocupaciones, ¿no? Algo que compartimos también con Gloria en nuestras propias experiencias anteriores, etcétera, y era una necesidad genuina de poder ver a las personas de 16, 17 años llegar a un lugar en el cual pudieran hacer uso de sus manos y no alienarse detrás de una pantalla o detrás de un concepto, un discurso y perderse un poco en esas búsquedas académicas que no están mal, por supuesto, pero que tienen, sí, creo yo, pues falencias, ¿no? Entonces eso sí nos llevó en consenso al colectivo que somos como facultad a querer arrancar de unas bases y encontrar en el oficio el corazón de la formación profesional. Para nosotros es fundamental que las personas que se forman en arquitectura se formen como carpinteras, que las personas que se formen como artistas se formen como ceramistas, que las personas que se formen como diseñadoras se formen como personas conocedoras de la confección y el patronaje. Para nosotros el fundamento de la vida profesional estaba allí y también viendo pues, la dificultad que se halla en América Latina para encontrar un asidero en el concepto y en la idea, es decir, tantas universidades que gradúan personas tan ricas en conceptos y en ideas, pero con tantas dificultades para poderlas llevar a la práctica y a una necesidad urgente y a una cotidianidad mundana. Entonces, pues eso nos lleva a buscar eh, esa riqueza de las maestras, de los maestros, a acudir, por ejemplo, a Arcenio y a su talento y a su sabiduría y a acudir a tantas otras personas que tienen cómo mostrar con el ejemplo que sí es posible llevar a cabo esto. Entonces, pues es por un lado la detección de falencias y por otro lado el reconocimiento de las necesidades de un territorio y de un ámbito laboral, lo que nos lleva a esto. Y bueno, me encanta saber pues que es un compartir, ¿no? No estamos solas ni solos en estas causas, sino que también encontramos otras universidades hermanas, otras escuelas hermanas, por acá en algunos puntos, algunas latitudes.
Así es.
Ay, no.
Gracias.
Muy emocionante. Nosotros pues ya tenemos que cerrar, pero antes también queríamos preguntarle a Arcenio si tenías alguna pregunta para, ya sea para Piedad, para Juan Pablo. No sé, también me parece muy bonito que a medida que transcurría esta conversación también estuvieras tejiendo. Eh, y creo que de eso se trata toda esta conversación, de combinar ambos y diversas prácticas y poder generar conocimiento a través del hacer eh, y del palabreo. Entonces, no sé si tienes alguna pregunta. em, sí, alguna intervención.
No, no, ¿qué le digo? Que este sistema, estamos hablando de la gente de Chile, que está fuera del país, nunca no había hablado así en Zoom, pero plataforma es muy bonito, chatearles así mirando la cara, Piedad tiene una cosa tan importante de la que trabaja, felicitaciones, todo lo que está haciendo es muy hermosas es que uno no lo sabe, no lo conoce tantas, muchas en Colombia nomás que trabajan de diferente etnia o de diferentes partes que trabajan su arte, es única, ¿no? Es única nomás que ellos elaboran, pero desde ahí uno se va creciendo, creciendo Es muy bonito. La experiencia cuando comparte esta idea, recoge y uno se siente también llegarle donde ellos están. Eso es muy bonito. No solamente no tengo ni preguntas, solamente estoy callado y mirando nomás lo que uno explica, lo que
Editando.
su experiencia, cómo fueron y uno queda, wow. Y de pronto llegamos hasta allá. Esa es la idea.
Gracias,
Gracias.
Arcenio, muchas gracias. Gracias a Piedad, gracias a Juan Pablo, a Gloria también, y a todas las personas que están allá detrás pues, que atendieron a este palabreo, y a los traductores, traductoras. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, muchas gracias. Y ya nada, para la última cosa para cerrar. So the last thing to wrap up this conversation. So thanks for everything. It's incredible how Arcenio just is giving us his wisdom, and in terms of how we are basically, like building bridges between us and between regions and countries and territories. So that's the idea of these palabreos, and it has been an amazing opportunity to exchange knowledge and experiences from different latitudes. So of course we hope to collaborate in the near future, and to embrace and to create like new agendas that basically trigger like a new voice for the South agenda, which is, I think, is crucial for what's happening right now in the world. So thanks again, thanks Juan Pablo, thanks Piedad, and thanks Arcenio, and of course thanks Gloria. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for this invitation. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.